What's up, guys? It's your boy August BTC back again with another video. Today, I just want to give you guys a quick update on the portfolio, how we're doing. The last video was about the wheels triangle strategy and the new format of the portfolio. And I just want to give you an update on how we're doing, the positions, just to go over everything. Again, the goal is to bring the account from $1,000. That's where I started. Now the account is sitting around $3,000 ish. And then the major goal is to bring the account to $10,000. So I want to talk everything that has to do with setting options, specifically related and surrounded with Bitcoin only, how to manage a portfolio, that comprises primarily of, selling Bitcoin options. So that is the goal. And I just want to be fully transparent and walk you guys through the process and how it's done. But yeah, let's get into it. So first things first, I want to start things off with the Bitcoin chart. It's very important to know your asset. Each and every day I look at the chart. I don't really study or to look at all the technicals or moving averages or whatever. All I look at is this line here, which is the 200-day moving average. So this line basically tells me that if the price action of Bitcoin is trading below this line, we're in a bear market. So what it basically means is every time that we're below this line, the chances of Bitcoin going up is a bit low, right? That's why you've been seeing Bitcoin breaking down as of late. So every rally that Bitcoin has is short-lived. That's why the positions that I take is much more safe, or the positions that I want to take is much more safe on the downside when I do my triangle, and I can be a little bit more aggressive on the short calls on the upside because Bitcoin tends to go a little bit more down than up. So as soon as we reclaim this orange line here, 200-day moving average, as soon as we reclaim it, then I'll be a little bit more conservative on the short calls. But now I can be a little bit aggressive. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick synopsis of my thesis on how I see things alongside the macro, because I also look at the macro, what's happening around the world with Trump and Iran and things like that. But this is also a very good indicator along with the support and resistance lines. I use that to kind of give me information on what strike price to choose, which is very important. So I just wanted to point that out. Cool. So let's get into the portfolio, guys. This is what we're looking. The portfolio is looking a little bit more green. Overall, we're up about $38 overall, and we're making about $22 per day in Theta, which is pretty good. So let me clean up the portfolio a little bit just to explain to you what's going on and what I have here. So as I told you guys, I'm running a wheel, strangle strategy where I essentially have the asset, which is Bitcoin, but synthetically. So I don't really own Bitcoin spot. I'm having exposure to Bitcoin. So the size that I have here is about $4,000, which is 0.05. So this gives me the participation into the upside. So if Bitcoin goes up, I can participate and make some money on the upside as Bitcoin goes up. The goal is to scale this position to 0.1 Bitcoin. Nothing more than that. I don't want to be too aggressive with this account size. But before we get into this, guys, where's the account looking at? Here we are. We crossed $3,900, and as you can see, the account is growing slowly. The goal is to get this line to be as smooth as possible. Why? Because I want to have less volatility, less changes in the portfolio. I want to structure the portfolio in a way that is less drawdowns, and that we continue to print up towards the upside. So the goal is to bring this account to 10K. We're currently on 3.9. We were on 4K. Our all-time high here was about 4.4, so we need to reclaim it pretty soon. So we just need to be patient and continue to print. But here's how we are right now, and each and every day that goes by, I'm collecting Theta, so this will increase. Let's go back into the portfolio. So I have a Bitcoin perp long position, right? About $4,000, 0.05. So far I'm up $9 in the position. Return on investment is 10%. This is the entry. I entered this position at 73,500, right? And I averaged in as well. and currently Bitcoin is sitting on 73,700. So Bitcoin hasn't really moved much, but yet I'm up a little bit, about $8. So if Bitcoin can go to 80K, 90K, 100K, that'll benefit me, and that'll help the account grow faster to $10,000. So essentially, you can think of this position as owning some shares of Bitcoin, right? So that's what I have here. So overall, that's what's happening here. The good thing with having a perpetual position is that there's no theta decay. So I'm not losing anything on this position. There's no gamma, there's no vega. The only thing that this position has is a delta. So each time that Bitcoin goes up, right, it goes up by this delta, if that makes sense. So the goal is to scale this position up to at least 0.1. I want to control about 0.1 Bitcoin, which is about $77,300, more or less, right? So we'll get there. So the second position that I have here, I want to talk about the puts first, right? So the puts is basically saying here that I don't think Bitcoin is going to go lower than 72 and 70K by June 26. So by the end of June, which is about, by the end of the month, out of the month of June, I don't think Bitcoin is going to go below these prices. So I have 0.1, that's the size that I have, and this is a premium that I collected. So on this position, I collected $1,470, but if you multiply that by the size, I collected $147 worth of premium. Same thing with this position. I collected $195 worth of premium, and so far I'm up at a position $21, $6. I'm up 14%, 3.4%. I'm getting paid $4, right, for both of this position. So these are put options. Put options is when you select a strike price and you bullish, saying, okay, I believe that Bitcoin is going to be above these strike prices by June 26, and that's about in 26 days from now, right? So I have time on my side, and the reason why I selected a further time for the puts is because we're in a bear market, like I explained earlier in the chart. So prices tends to go more down than up, and there's a lot of tensions now in the world right now. So Bitcoin doesn't like uncertainty. So I really want to give my thesis a long time to play out so that I don't have a lot of volatility on this put side, right? So the good thing when you choose a long dated out of the money put option, you have less gamma that works against you, you have less vega that works against you, right? So that's what I decided to choose. Great. So far I'm up in the position, and now I have the short calls, but now the short calls are more aggressive and the short calls are weekly, right? So this is June 12, it expires. If you go to June 12, right, this thing expires in 12 days, exactly 12 days. So I've decided to sell three call options, 77, 78, and 79. 0.1 is the size. That's what my account can take right now. I don't want to be too aggressive. And I've collected $54, $36, $26. Remember, you need to multiply this premium that I've received times the size, right? So I'll stand to make this amount of money collectively in 12 days, right? And so far, the triangle is working. Remember, this is a triangle. I have puts at the bottom, I have calls on top. So think of it like a goalpost. So I just want Bitcoin to be around where it is right now. This is a sweet spot. If Bitcoin can go above 72, which is right now 73, and below 77, so I want Bitcoin to be between $75,000 and $76,000 in 12 days. That would be great, because I can maximize the theta and still capture most of these premiums that's remaining. All right, so far, the portfolio is working. All I just need is to give it time. That's a beautiful thing about selling options, right? You just have to give it time. Don't do too much. Let your thesis play out, and that's how I can capture the rest of this premium. So the goal is basically to let theta decay happen, right? Continue to get theta. As every day goes by, this theta per day is going to increase, which is going to help decay most of these premiums so that I can collect it. And then collectively, the account is going to grow as well. right? So this is what the portfolio is looking like, guys. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. Let's see what happens to Bitcoin as the days goes by. What I'm going to do with the short calls, because it's weekly, I'm just going to repeat and recycle it. Because if Bitcoin goes down now to 72, 71k, all these calls are going to be in massive profit. But if Bitcoin stays where it is right now, that's also fine. I'm going to win on the calls, because essentially the strikes are not being breached. So it's staying between the goalposts. Think of it like a range game. So that's what's happening right now. So how am I winning? Let's quickly talk. How am I winning? If Bitcoin goes up here, right, the shares that are essentially owned synthetically, right, the Bitcoin long perp that I have here is going to go into profit. I'm going to make money, right? If Bitcoin goes up, the puts here are going to print and I'm going to make money. If Bitcoin stays below the strike price of the short calls, I'm going to print and I'm going to make money. And all that money is going to go towards the account and help the account get to $10,000. So I just need to stick to the system, repeat it systematically, and yeah, we'll get there. But right now, the account is sitting on 3,900. Probably in the next few days we should get to $4,000. I'll keep you guys posted if the price stays the same or goes up a little bit. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll keep you guys posted, and feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.